Shout out to 12 tribes of Israel scattered abroad. Greetings and blessings. It's been a crazy day. It's been a crazy week. So um, let's go ahead. First, I'm going to start with a recap. So, episode one, we gave a broad overview over Jacob's trouble. What is it? What does the Bible say? Scripture to your faith and subdue your fear while you prepare in the natural per the commandments, 2nd Ezra 16, Luke 22 and 36, and various other scriptures. Week two, we did a discussion. We covered hyperinflation, which referencing the black horseman in Revelation 6, verse 5 through 6, which hyperinflation is a term described rapid and excessive, out of control prices in the economy, which are about 50% or more per month in price increase. Week three, we went into greater detail about food storage. What are the best foods to store long term? What are the best methods to accumulate your food pantries? We talked about utilizing food banks as a good option to supplement your food bill while storing. Episode four, we covered power outages, and we covered the difference between a cyber attack and an EMP. The quick difference is the EMP will destroy every electrical device you have, including cars and vehicles. Anything with a microchip or a circuit board will be destroyed. Cyber attack, you still can have access to things that are powered, battery powered or things like that, as long as there's a power source. And today in the news, we're seeing the cyber attack play out regarding the pipeline. So, that was very relevant lesson. All praises. Episode 5, we covered home security. Some cheap and cost-effective ways we can do to beef up our home security, while covering how to put together your bug out bags, which is an emergency bag that you can create to survive for a minimum of 72 hours. You can build a long-term survival bug out bag, and that term bug out bag was created by the US military. Episode 6, we continued with the bug out bag, and then we spent some time going into skills that our people should be learning now that will prove useful in the days ahead, such as fire making, water purification, sewing, cooking, bushcraft, child care, mechanics, things of that nature. Episode 7, we covered the wrong mindset to have in these last days. We used the children of Israel coming out of Egypt as an example. Their complaining, ungratefulness, and lack of faith as a primary way to get cut off in these last days, while covering some unrealistic mindsets that people have in our time who refuse to prepare. For instance, I don't need to store food, I'll just go hunt. We discussed in great detail how this delusional mindset will cause a lot of people to end up in really bad cases. And also this lesson we discussed water storage, some ways we can store and purify water for the long term. Episode 8, we covered the right mindset we should have during this time with precepts designed to bolster your faith, shed your sins, and start getting our hearts and minds ready for what's to come. Okay, now tonight we're going to cover investing with an emphasis of us investing in these last days. So I'm going to go over the natural aspects of investing, and we're going to go over some precepts concerning investing with the emphasis of these last days. So first, I want to take a page out of Brother Dominique's teaching style, and I'd like to cover the definition. So there are many definitions if you look on the internet, but this is the one that is most apropos for tonight's lesson. Investment. Devote one's time, money, effort, or energy to a particular undertaking with the expectation of a worthwhile result. So I'm going to read that again. Devoting one's time, money, effort, or energy to a particular undertaking with expectation of a worthwhile result. So let's put an adjective with that. A good investment is something that appreciates in value as time progresses or at a certain event in the future. Okay, that's a good investment. A bad investment is something that depreciates or even becomes a liability to you as time progresses. Okay, so, you know, hopefully everyone wants to have a good investment, or, that's the mindset that we go in when we think about investing. Okay, now, over the past couple years, there's been a craze with trading stocks and cryptos. Okay, now with this craze, it's led to a herd mentality where people have the mindset of we're all going to be millionaires. Okay, now this type of mentality is dangerous because it's not the first time this has happened. So, like the stock market crash in 1929, 1987, 2000, and 2008, this the same herd mentality of everyone getting in at the same time with, oh yeah, we're not, we're just all going to get rich. So in each of these bubbles, the trends have been very similar from the people on Main Street. Now, when I say Main Street, that's your middle class, your lower class, your mom and pop investors. Okay, everyday people who don't normally start making investments. Okay, these are people, they don't normally invest. Okay, now when I say invest, I'm typically talking about the stock market, and now since we're 2021, we can talk about cryptos. So these are the people who normally don't invest. Okay, that's what I call Main Street. So as these bubbles arise, then all of a sudden, these people, Main Street, want to start making investments and start following the crowd into a certain investment. Okay. This herd mentality is very dangerous because, as we know, according to the scriptures, broad is the way that leads to destruction. And in this case, investing in a broad way is going to be result in a loss of your money. Now, you heard me say earlier the term bubble. You don't know what that means, and all praises, you came to the right place. A bubble refers to an economic cycle that is characterized by the rapid escalation of market value, particularly in the price of assets. Okay, so let me break that down. Okay, well, let me finish with this one. So I'll go ahead and read it again. An economic, so a bubble is defined as an economic cycle that is characterized by the rapid escalation of market value in the price of assets. Okay, this fast rise in asset prices are followed by a quick decrease in value that sometimes people call a crash or a bubble burst. Okay, so for example, um, a product A, it has a value of $10. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, product A has a value of 500, and then people are asking, wait, why does the smart people start asking, wait, why does product A is worth 500? The herd that is right before a bubble burst says, who cares? Who cares? Let's just get in. Let's just buy product A because product A is going to be worth $10,000, and then you start hearing all these crazy numbers. Okay. So how long a bubble lasts, it just depends. There's so many factors to go in how long a bubble lasts, but everyone thinks they're going to get out before the bubble burst. Okay, so now um, typically a bubble is created, as I said earlier, by a surge in asset prices that is driven by the herd mentality. Everyone's doing it. Everyone is talking about it. There are TikTok videos of people getting rich. The mainstream news keeps talking about it. Every YouTube ad I see is talking about investing in blah. Those emotions from Main Street is what fuels the bubble. And at the same time, it's a signal to Wall Street, the people who made the money before, product A raised in price, it is a signal to Wall Street that the bubble's about to burst. Okay, so we see product A is worth $10, and then all of a sudden it's worth 500. Okay, Wall Street got in when product A was worth $1. Okay, now for them to get out, they do fuel the bubble by getting ads, getting Main Street news to talk about it, because Main Street makes up more money, as a whole, to this herd mentality. So now, you heard the term bubble. Now, Mike or Ben, do you know? Don't look it up, or I can ask the audience without looking it up. Do you know what was the first bubble in history? If you know, raise your hand. The very first bubble. Mike, Ben, do you know? Mike, Ben.
Say it again.
The first bubble in history. Do you know what it was? Okay. So no. Okay. So here we go. Someone raised their hand. Let's see if they know the first bubble that everyone was getting on, and people were buying and going crazy. I'm sorry.
Okay, I was gonna say it was World War One, but I guess not.
No. It was way before World War One, but that's good try. The first bubble, the first asset, quotations, the first asset was tulips. Okay, yes, tulips, the flower. So the same way people right now are going crazy over Bitcoin and all these cryptos, the same way in the 1500s or 1400s, I think it was 1500s, they were going crazy over tulips. Now, we look back at that and say that's stupid, that's silly, like tulips are only flowers. But yeah, look it up. Look up the first bubble in history, and there's a story of how somebody was buying tulips, and the price of tulips went up, and then everyone was like, oh no, tulips are the new main investment. So people were selling houses, selling horses and cattle to buy tulips because they were going to sell them at a profit. And at the beginning of this bubble, the tulips did go up in price. Now, again, you ask yourself, what the hell is so special about tulips? I don't know, but for whatever herd mentality was going on regarding investing in tulips, that was what was fueling the bubble. Okay. People were taking out whole entire fields and screw corn, screw wine. We're growing tulips. Okay. So tulip mania lasted. It was ridiculous. You can literally just Google, go to YouTube and type in tulip mania or tulip bubble, and you're going to see some videos, some good history lessons. So that was the first recorded bubble in history, until someone asked the question, why are we spending so much money on tulips? Like, what did they do? And then other people started asking that question. And then, the next day, those who had the money or those who made the money, got out, and, the tulips crashed. The bubble bursted when it comes to tulips. So it's not the first time that, herd mentality. And then, looking at 1920, it was a bunch of stocks that, didn't do anything, and corruption. And 1987 is the same thing. And then 2000, it was .com bubble, like companies that didn't have any products or they didn't have anything. They just had a website called pets.com is the most famous one. And, it was worth $1 billion. Like, because websites are this new thing. Well, now that we're looking back, yeah, a website is nice, but you got to have a business behind it. You got to sell a product. You got to do something. But back then in 2000, no one cared. As long as you had .com, then, you were instant millionaire, until someone asked the question, like, wait a minute, what do these websites do? And then, by then, like when people start asking those questions, the Wall Street has already taken their money out. And then, that's when the house of cards come down. So in 2008, you had the same thing. You had the house market. Everybody was in real estate. Everybody wanted to flip houses. And so The problem with that was really crazy. The problem with 2008 was you had strippers. Strippers had 3 or 4 houses because again, no one cared. Like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. Like, the mortgage companies were approving anybody who had a pulse for a house because the argument was, oh, the person would flip the house and then make a profit, and then they would keep flipping it and make a profit. So a good movie to watch on that would be The Big Short. That's based on a true story. The people, the actors, those are real people that actually that stuff that really went on. So you would think after the tulips in the 1500s, people would learn to say, hey, we need to invest in things that make, that are sound investments. But no, that herd mentality is alive and well, and it's not going anywhere. And then 2008, after 2008, that's when Bitcoin was created. Well, 2010, really. 2008, 2010, that's when Bitcoin was created. And Bitcoin at the time was 25 cents. That's when I think it first started, 25 cents. So now if you look at the price now, you can say, wow, people who bought it back then, oh man, they're, billionaires. Yep. Well, some are, some aren't. Um, but the thing is, this trend of bubbles is it's always a reoccurring theme in some point in history. So the thing is when the masses start talking about it, then whatever bubble it is, whether it's tulips, whether it's .com websites, whether it's real estate, whether it's cryptos, whether it's whatever, the bubble is near. Now people who are inside the bubble will hate you saying this, but it's a reality based on history. So if you would have told someone at the height of the tulip mania that, hey guys, these are just flowers, the price is going to crash, and a lot of y'all are going to go bankrupt, I'm pretty sure you would have got burned at the stake. So it's no different than today. Now, in each of these bubbles, the trends have been very similar. People from Main Street, those are your middle and lower class, start following these trends. Okay. So, that is, the first overview with, recognizing bubbles in history. Okay. Now, another example that we could use today is like, for instance, a TV. Okay. Well, let's not use a TV. Let's use a iPhone. Okay. So a brand new iPhone, I don't know what the price is, probably like $1,200 or something like that. Everyone in the room could say, well, that is expensive, but it is an iPhone. You are buying it for the brand. Apple has been raising their prices, and I'm not buying it, but I could see why it's priced that way. Now, iPhone was, let's say $5,000. Everyone would be like, what the hell? Hell no. But I guarantee you there will be some people, if the news, cycle got on it enough, and there was a YouTube videos and TikTok videos and people buying $5,000 iPhones with the hope that they can sell it for, 17,000 or 20,000, it would be the same thing. We look at, that example and we would laugh and scoff, but with that herd mentality, it's a pretty powerful force that has known to fuel bubbles throughout history. Okay. So now, again, I'm talking about acting concerning us, the children of Israel, in the context of these last days. Now, so if you're going to invest, we're just kind of going over some, broad things to consider. I'm not telling you to invest in this or don't invest in this. I mean, it's literally your money. You do what you want to do, but it's kind of just giving you some words of wisdom and things to consider, considering the time we're in. So, first, let me give you the disclaimer. If you're thinking about investing in, cryptos or stocks or this or that, again, considering who we are and the time we're in, biblically speaking, ask yourself, if the banks were to close tomorrow, we already see the gas stations closing, but if the banks were to close tomorrow and the grocery stores were to close tomorrow forever, gone kaput, out of there, what is how much for you and your family, your household, How much food, water, and supplies do you have in your house right now to sustain yourself? And for how long? If you whatever answer that is, if you know the shorter the answer, or in terms of days, is probably what you should be focusing on. In the terms of if it's longer out, when you're talking about months, then you probably could invest in other things. It might be a wise thing to do. It may not be, but we're going to go through this checklist and some precepts, and then your own decision at the end of this lesson. Okay. So again, ask yourself, if everything's shut down tomorrow, I wake up, my phone is dead, I go to the grocery store, gas station's empty, stores are empty. How much food, water, and supplies do I have to sustain myself and my household? Okay. So now, when you think about investing, whatever it is, you want to consult the Most High. Okay. You definitely want to go to prayer and fasting. And, if it's something that you're really like, if you're unsure about, now, when I say unsure, we're going to get into the emotional aspect to, make sure that you're sure. But in anything, you want to, consult the Most High. Okay. So, step 2, do your own research, okay, on whatever it is. If it's real estate, if it's land you're looking at, if it's cryptos, if it's stock, if whatever it is, you are responsible for your own research. Okay, there are plenty of resources out there for you to get educated. So the fact that you saw your friends on Twitter talking about cryptos and using gifs and memes of getting rich, or having you to believe that they're getting rich, these are the things that you want to stay away from. Okay, do your own research. It's great that I'm just using Mike as an example. It's great that brother Mike is he tweets every day. I'm just using him as an example. He tweets every day about how much money he made in Bitcoin. That is great. Now, I am not going to get into, as a wise investor, I'm not getting into it just because Mike's getting into it, or Mike tweets that he's making money, because some niggas lie. Okay, we're just being honest. Like some people are lying. Okay, if I was a millionaire, I would not be on Twitter talking about how I made my millions. I just wouldn't be. So, or I'm getting rich. The people who made their money on Bitcoin already, they're not on Twitter and they're not on YouTube making videos. They're gone. They're enjoying life. They're doing whatever they're doing. So, not to say the people that who talk about it aren't making money. I'm not saying that. But the thing is, you want to do your own research. First thing I would start asking Mike. Okay, Mike, well, what are you seeing in the market? How did you get started? How much money did you invest? That's kind of how much money he invested. That's kind of personal. He could tell me if he wanted to, but well, I could change the question. Well, what do you think would be a good investment? And he would, well, I don't know how much, So the thing is, I'm not depending just because Mike keeps tweeting and his news feed is coming up. I'm not investing because of that. I will start to be curious and start doing my own research about. I'm just using Bitcoin as an example. Well, I'm not going to use Bitcoin because some people get sensitive and whatever. Are you talking about my crypto? Okay, whatever, dude. Whatever crypto Mike is in, I'm going to start to do research on that and see, okay, is this just a tulip or is this an iPhone? A tulip's a flower. It doesn't do anything. It looks nice, just shiny. Okay, an iPhone, there's marketing behind that. There's history. It does something, okay? So I'm doing my own research to see. And the thing is, you're going to find a lot of when I say do your own research, mainly, YouTube's a good source, but the thing is, you're going to find a lot of positive information out there. Okay, and that's part of fueling the bubble. You're going to get a lot of positive information. So it's good to get some negative information, so you could kind of balance that. But the thing is, doing your own research. Okay. Now, let me use myself as a personal example to this. When I first started working, I worked for this guy. I didn't know anything. He was underpaying me, It was a small firm. He was underpaying me. But I guess part of the way, like now that I'm older and I guess wiser from that, I kind of understood what he was doing. So he would underpay me, but he would, I guess, make it seem like he was, paying me in stock tips. Okay. Now, so, I saved up some money, and then this is when Pandora was going public. Now, when a company goes public, that means you can buy shares on the stock exchange. So when they say, oh, so, Facebook's going public, they have their IPO day, you see them on Wall Street ringing the bell or whatever, and then, you can go on to your trading account and buy shares. Okay. So this was Pandora. This is about 2011. Pandora. Okay, he's talking about Pandora. Yeah, man, you got to invest in Pandora. I'm investing in Pandora, blah, blah, blah. So I went ahead and set up my account with one of these online brokerage firms. And, the day that Pandora started trading, the price went up and then it started to go down. And so I called him on the phone. I was like, hey, did you buy any shares yet? He was like, no, 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 I haven't. But you should go ahead and buy some now because I think this is, the bottom. So the bottom is where that's the lowest price it's going to get. After that, it's going to shoot up. So he said, yeah, I think this is the bottom. So you probably should go ahead and invest now. I'm away from the office. So, when I get settled back in, I'm probably going to buy some. I was like, okay, cool. So I bought a bunch of shares and I'm watching my investment go down and down and down and down and down and down and for the entire day. Like it completely crashed. And then when it was like, I lost like half my, like over like 70% of my money. I called him. I said, hey, dude, this thing is, it's having a bad day. Like, did you buy? Like, did you buy yet? Or like, no, no, no. I was like, dude, did you buy? He was like, no, 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 I didn't buy. Like this is at the end of the day. Like this is like hours after we talked. Like most of the day is gone. He was like, no, 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 I didn't buy. I'm going to buy some tomorrow. I want to see what this price, hits the bottom. Now he told me the bottom was like 8 hours ago. But me again, not doing my own research. I just listened to him. I lost a ton of money. Now, after that day, I was sick to my stomach. So I did something that I'm telling you to do right now. I did my own research. So I literally just Googled Pandora stock. And the letter from the CEO said, we will not make profit until 2017. There is a lot of competition in our space. We have licensing fees, all this stuff. So again, if the CEO is telling you we're not going to make money until 5 years from now, that's why the stock took a hit. Now, I could have saved myself a lot of pain if I would have just, did that before listening to someone else who kept, was very positive and like, oh, yeah, yeah, we're going to make a ton of money, blah, blah, blah. So, that's just a cautionary tale that do your own research. If it's land, which will bring me to point number 3, invest in the right things. Okay. So, if it's land, go see the land. Like, don't look at the pictures on the internet. Like, no, spend a day, go see the land and ask a ton of questions. Okay. A ton, because you may be buying something that, that's prone to flooding. You may be buying a plot of land that's prone to flooding. And I'm not sure in your states, but here in Texas, when you buy the land, you own the land. You own the land, but you do not own what's underneath the land. Okay, so you have to make sure you negotiate that too. Okay, so I want the land and the minerals under the land. Okay, so you wouldn't think about that. You would just think, well, I do own the thing under it, not necessarily. So you want to make sure you own everything, because you may go out there one day and say I'm gonna plant a garden, and you start digging, and then you hit an oil leak, and there's oil running through your land, and then the owner of the minerals shows up and says, well, oh yeah, thank you for that oil. By the way, that's mine. When you bought this land, you own the land above it, but I own everything beneath it. That's how it works in Texas. So I'm not sure what your state, but you want to make sure you own everything. Okay, now when I say invest in the right things, we're going to get into quite a few scriptures that talk about the right things and the bad things. So, we're going to get to that later. But invest in the right things. 4, don't be greedy. This is First Timothy chapter 6 and verse 9. I can go ahead and read this. And this goes into the right mindset to have. But with godliness and this is First Timothy 6 and 6. But godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. Having food and raiment, let us be within content. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which some coveted after, and have erred from the faith, and have pierced themselves with many sorrows. So, again, the purpose of an investment is, something that a good investment is something that appreciates in value. Now, again, if you're, buying land or something, with that appreciation, you can pass down to your family. Okay, you can pass down to your children. So it's not to say we shouldn't make investments. That's definitely not what I'm saying. That's not what the scripture says. But having that greedy mindset. So again, greed is what fuels bubbles. Okay. Oh, I'm going to get in, at 10,000 because I know it's going to go to 50,000, and it may not, but that greed and desperate is going to, you're not very level headed when you're making investments. Okay. So, don't be greedy. Like, don't invest with the mindset, like with the heart of greed. Okay. Or don't invest out of desperation. Like, I know I have this rent money, but I can go ahead and make this investment, or, you could put this in gambling, or I can go ahead and make this investment, or I can make this, because, if it multiplies, because that's what the news said. And, Mike on TikTok, he made a video saying this is going to happen this week. Then I can, double my money and then pay my rent, and, uh, there I got some money. Not necessarily. So, don't be very careful as in investing through desperation. So now with greed and desperation, that goes to my next point. Don't be emotional, okay, about your investments. And now I know it's a hard thing to say, especially I know when it comes to people's homes, because home is an emotional thing. Like, I'm a homeowner, and, passes down to my family for generations. And, I've renovated this house, and that's all well and good. But when you get emotional, it becomes, you're not level headed. You're not thinking clearly. So don't be emotional, and know to recognize the emotional triggers. Okay. When they creep up. For instance, there's a phrase in the crypto community called FOMO. Okay. Fear of missing out. So, or it's not even crypto. It's like, it's in the stock market too. That fear of missing out. So investors definitely, if you work on Wall Street, if you're a trader, your job is to sell products. That's all it is. Okay. So with that FOMO, that's a kind of a pressure, a sales tactic that, people will use to get you to buy in. Because even if I already own an investment, let me just say crypto, let's say I own crypto, me getting you to buy it is better for me because it's going to raise the price. Not just you by itself, but if, the people who already own it is getting other people to own it, then, that's fueling the bubble. Okay. Now, in the investment community, saying the word bubble is like a curse word and blasphemy, but I mean, the numbers don't lie. So now, knowing that, okay, am I being pressured into making this investment? And now, some things, like for me, when I just read 1 Timothy 6, I was preaching to myself in the story I gave about Pandora's stock. I was out of greed and desperation. I wasn't getting paid enough. And I was like, okay, I can use this to get rich, and, I can always flip the money and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now, um, now with that greed and desperation, let's say you consulted the Most High. Let's say you did your own research, and, you invested in the right things. Now, part of that, controlling your emotions is being disciplined, diligent, and don't get lazy. Okay, that is, and also you can throw in there patience. Okay, so if you bought a house or renovated a house that you're going to renovate for investment purposes, you're going to flip it or you're going to rent it out. Be disciplined with it, be diligent with it, and don't get lazy. um, look for deals on, one thing. One person I know who flipped houses or rented houses. What he did was he would go to like Lowe's or Home Depot, and when he's renovating, he would ask them for their discontinued products. Okay, so typically, these would be your appliances. Every year there's a new refrigerator, or every year there's a new washer and dryer. So, when we walk into the store, we see the latest and greatest model on there. He would go ask them like, "What models do you have in the back that are discontinued that you're not, you know, selling anymore, or up front, or you're trying to get rid of?" And he would save a ton of money because those products would be really discounted. Now, we could use that same tactic if we're updating our house or buying new appliances, but just through this lesson reminded me of some of the things he did. Now when I say disciplined, diligent, and don't get lazy, so going using Mike as an example again, I see Mike keep tweeting about how much money he's making in crypto, and I DM Mike and say, "Hey, Mike, what cryptos are you buying, and are those good investments?" Mike's like, "Yeah, just get in crypto ABC." So I buy crypto ABC, and I'm looking at the price, and the price is going down, and it's going up, it's going down. And then I see some news that, every getting out of ABC, and I just don't, pay attention to it. But, I start buying more because I see Mike still tweeting, and, next thing you know, the money, the bubble has bursted in crypto ABC. And I asked Mike, "Hey, Mike, did, man, we lost our money in that. That was crazy." And Mike says, "I didn't lose my money. I got out 3 months ago. What the hell are you talking about? I was tweeting about something else. That wasn't that. That was, no. So me not being diligent and like really researching like what I'm doing, it costing me some money. Just using that example. Okay. So, um, don't get lazy. Okay. Now, one thing you want to do is take some profits. Okay, so whatever your investment is, now this goes into being disciplined. Okay, so Leo, we're talking about investing, and we're in Jacob's trouble. Yes, I going back to my disclaimer. I said make sure ask yourself how much food, water, and supplies you have if everything shuts down. Okay, and this is assuming you've done that. You stored like the ant, and now you're saying I want to, or I'm looking to do something else with my money. I've been saving. I've been in, I'm looking to investing that. Okay, so I'm, um, now you want to take some profits. Now that is a disciplined strategy that is contrary to to greed. Okay, because you keep putting money in something, and the price goes up and down, and you don't know. And that's the thing. Like when you're studying this type of stuff, you have to know when, or like not so much when, but like why is this price going down, or why is it going up? So the same thing with the tulip mania. A group of people asked the question, "Why are we spending a bunch of money on tulips?" And then it's like, "Oh wait, why are we doing this?" And then once the herd mentality wakes up from that, then it goes down. Okay, so now when I say like, and you could these things I'm listing off will work. Not saying work, but they should be applied to whatever you invest. So I'm not I'm not giving specific real estate advice, or specific stocks and crypto advice. Um, you know, but if you're saying I'm going to do this, let's just kind of go over some things, or just some points of wisdom. Okay. Now, um, when I say take profits, let's just use this example. Okay. Let's say you invest in, I don't know, something. Let's call it something. You put $100 in, and it appreciates to 200. Okay. You want to take out, you take out your $100. That's your money you invested. Okay. Um, if that same, so you invested $100, it rose to 200. You took out $100. That's your money you invested. Okay. Now you're playing with, I hate using this phrase, but I mean, it is what it is. House money. Okay. So that $100 is from the appreciation of that asset that you purchased. Okay. Now, if it goes up or down, um, if it goes up again, then you take profit off. So the thing is, you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. Okay. You're not leaving all your eggs in one basket. Now, with 10 profits, that you keep doing task strategy until you hit your exit strategy. Okay, so sometimes your exit strategy is it was a bad investment. I listened to Mike, and Mike was wrong, and Mike was lying, and he was capping, and Mike doesn't even own the stock, or whatever. He just wanted to tweet because everyone else was tweeting and the hashtag was popular. Okay. I have to admit defeat, okay, and cut my losses. So again, that could be in anything. But whatever your exit strategy is, now your exit strategy, this is something you want to develop before, you know, while you hit point number two, do your own research. Okay. So as you're looking at this investment, whatever it is, what is your exit strategy? Now, if it's land, my exit strategy is never. I'm going to pass this on to my family. I'm going to give them inheritance. We don't know. I mean, looking at the world today, I think we're pretty close to getting out of here. But again, we don't know. So, I'm definitely not going to predict a time or whatever. But, if that is your mindset, that's a good mindset. You want to leave something to, those behind, those who come after you. So that may be your exit strategy. Or you may say, um, you know, um, if that I'm holding this land until it increases in X amount. Okay. Now, whatever your exit strategy is, after you met your target for your exit strategy, that's where the discipline comes in. Okay. And to stay longer after you hit your target, that's where greed starts to set in. Okay. So when I was doing some research, there was this investor. He got out the stock market, and he bought in at when the stock market, when the Dow Jones was about, I don't know, say about 9,000. Okay, right now it's at 33,000. But when he bought in, he invested when it was 9,000, and he said, when and if it hits 14,000, I'm getting out. That's it. Okay, so it hit 14,000, he got out. But now you look at it now, it's 30,000. And so he was kind of kicking himself like, man, I'm kind of kicking myself. I could have made, over double more than my, my exit strategy. But this is the number I had, and this is the number I'm comfortable with. Okay. So, again, he didn't have a crystal ball to say, no, 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 keep it because it's going to go up to 33. And none of us do. Okay. So, now with your exit strategy, you probably want to have, okay, I met my target, I'm getting out. Or, the thing with the exit strategy, after you meet your target, whatever that target is. So you could say for this, I want to, my target is residual income. That's my target. That's not a bad target. That's not greed or anything. That's a good target that you have to be disciplined in. So again, using land or renovating a house, like I'm going to have rental income. Okay, so um, you know that's a good target. But whatever it is your strategy. I can't let Mike in my ear say, no, 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 Leo, oh man, we're getting rich. Like for whatever purpose I had this target is because of, whatever Leo had this target. Because again, if I lose my money, Mike's not going to give me money. Oh, my bad, man. I gave you bad advice. Here's a G, man. My bad. No, he's not going to do that. Okay. So another reason why you want to have an exit strategy is, unexpected emergency. Okay. So This is typical with some people who, have 401ks or anything like that. You get penalized when you start, doing early withdrawals. Okay. But in whatever situation, again, let's just use land as an example. There's an unexpected emergency and you really need some cash, then you might want to, make sure you have your realtor on the phone and say, hey, I need to dump this property now. It's unfortunate, but, I need to dump it for whatever reason, medical bills, somebody needs surgery, whatever. Okay. So that's part of an exit strategy. Now, another exit strategy is crashing the market. So we say, oh, when I make X amount of dollars, I'm going to get out. Okay, that's fine. But you need to also have a plan for when it starts to go down and it keeps going down and there's no end in sight. And after a while the positive crowd starts to wane and it's like, oh yeah, these tulips are really terrible. So whatever that crash in the market, some people, like from what I've seen, um, um, if it's like a 5% drop or a 10% drop, they'll get out and just hold the cash until um, the market kind of levels out, and then some people just buy more. So again, this is literally an individual thing. So now now, your exit strategy again could also include a way for you to live off, for you to pay some bills or supplement your income. So, again, whatever your exit strategy is, be diligent. That's part of doing your own research. So be diligent. Don't get lazy. Don't get greedy. Don't get desperate. Invest in the right things. Okay. Don't get emotional and recognize your emotional triggers. I mean, it's real. I mean, everyone gets excited. That's an emotion because we're all making money and all the news is good and the numbers keep going up and up and up. Like that's a real emotional thing. But getting a history perspective of how that works and how that's turned out, from the, Great Depression in 1929, and that's the thing. Every bubble that experience in history, whoever's in that bubble during that time period has a reason as to why this bubble's different. So those in 2008 was like, no, 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 this is not a bubble because in 2000 that was just .com. This is real estate. We're all going to keep flipping houses and get rich. So if everyone is flipping houses, then who's buying? If everyone's flipping houses to sell, and that's what happened in 2008. So that's why people stopped paying their mortgages. Was like, well, I only bought this house because I was going to flip it, but um, you know, I can't flip it anymore. I'm not paying this mortgage, and so that's when all hell broke loose. So you know, just this is just a very broad blanket overview of not putting all your eggs in one basket. Now, of a sound investment strategy for whatever it is. I can't tell you what to invest in. That's literally between you and the Most High and your budget and your household and your family, whatever. Now, one thing I will say: please don't put all your eggs in one basket. People are still investing. People still have their investment in Robinhood, and I hate Robinhood. I don't use Robinhood. I hope Robinhood dies a very painful and painful death. Because I'm going to give you my reasons. When the stock are going up on GameStop, Robinhood stopped people from buying the stock. You could only sell. Okay, now why would a company stop you from buying stocks? This is why. Robinhood is owned. One of their major investors is a investment firm. I forgot the name of the company. It doesn't matter. Um, this investment firm was the reason why GameStop stock was crashing. Okay, initially when it was before the pandemic. So they were shorting the stock. Okay, so shorting the stock is essentially it's I'm just giving you a very basic definition. You are investing that the stock goes down. Okay, that's what you're investing in. You say this company is crap. I'm investing that the stock goes down. Okay, Uh, Typically, everyone invests in positive. So we're typically your typical investor says, I'm investing because I think the stock is going to go up. So when the company that invests in Robinhood start losing money from GameStop, because what happened was on Reddit, you had a lot of investors, well, Main Street investors, they used their stimulus check. So they created a room in Reddit and said, "Hey, we all got our stimulus checks. We're going to invest in GameStop to make it go up." Now, everyone invests at the same time. This was a pretty large and coordinated effort, but this goes to show you when what can happen when everyone works together. They said, "Okay, now when we invest this stock, everyone start tweeting about it. They got some bots from India. Everyone start tweeting about GameStop. Now the news is going to pick this up because GameStop is all of a sudden rising. Now, when GameStop starts rising, that means everyone else who didn't buy at this price, I think it was like $7 or whatever, everyone who didn't buy at this price, they're going to start getting in because they think the stock's going to keep going up. And that's exactly what happened. So when they did that, this company who invested that the stock was going down started losing money. And they own Robinhood. So with Robinhood, what Robinhood did was they stopped everyone who was on their platform from buying more shares, because if GameStop kept going up, their parent company or investor company was going to lose a ton of money. Okay. So again, and from what I hear, they're doing the same thing with Dogecoin or Doggy Coin. So as it goes up, they stop people or temporarily halted trading. Okay, so if you put all your eggs in that basket, your money is kind of tied up, or your investments are tied up. So you want to use I would say, of course, one. If you're going to do it, you need at least one. But I would do two or three different platforms for you to move your money around. Because the thing is, with that, if I didn't have Robinhood, I didn't invest in GameStop, but from what I was seeing, some people, what they did was they had two accounts. They had one with Robinhood and they had one with, I don't know, TD or Ameritrade or whatever. So when Robinhood was pulling that mess, yeah, they sold, but they went ahead and transferred their money to the other account that was letting them do it. Okay, because the other companies didn't care. It's like, well, whatever. So now again, the people who coordinated that, they're being investigated by the SEC for stock manipulation, because you can't do that. However, the U.S. government does it all the time. So the government and Wall Street can get away with it, but we can't. So I am not suggesting, you and your friends go start, do what they did, because that's, by definition, it is stock market manipulation. But at the same time, literally everyone does it. When you watch on the news and they say, "Oh, Facebook stock is doing great," any good news is going to push the stock forward. So I mean, that's just one of the ways that Wall Street rigs the game in their favor. So don't put all your eggs in one basket. Be wise and spread it out, because something like this could happen. Or there's been times where people have been locked out of their accounts. It happens. So um, if that does happen, that goes to the whole thing about don't being emotional. If that does happen, recognizing what system we're investing in and what system we're playing with and who's controlling this system, and they're going to cheat and rob and steal until the cows come home. So knowing that, it's like, well, shit, that is something that Edom would do. Move on. You know, so, but if you're, freaking out because it's your rent money, then you shouldn't have been doing that in the first place. Okay, pay your rent. Now with that, we're going to go into some precepts that's going to, bring all of this home. Again, considering who we are and the time that we're in. So, do you guys have Tobit chapter 4? Okay.
I can get it for you. I can get it for you, King.
All right.
Tobit, chapter 4. What do you need?
Verse 8.
Con. This is the Salakia.
Hold on, wait,
This is the
one
book
second. I don't Slovakia. So this is these precepts we're going to go through is going to cover the right mindset we should have, the good investments we should be making, the bad investments. Okay, this is going to cover all of that. Okay, these set of precepts. Go ahead.
Khan, this is the book of Tobit, chapter 4 and verse 8. If thou hast abundance, give alms accordingly. If thou have but a little, be not afraid to give according to that little.
Let's stop right there. So, if you have abundance, give accordingly. If you don't, still don't be afraid to give that little. So, just it's just one thing. Like, you know, this scripture right here is playing into that. Not playing, but it's attacking the emotional aspect. Again, like, you don't want to say like, oh, I have my rent money. Now, these types of scriptures, the crooked pastors would use this, and that's how they rape and bleed the flock. They'll say, oh, you can't be afraid. You got God's gonna bless you. That's not what it's saying. Like, you know, don't be afraid to give. If you that's what you have, that's what you have. Like, the woman with the 2 pennies, that's all she had. Like, this is all I got. This is all I can give. And go ahead, verse 9.
Khan, Salakia. Verse 9. For thou layest up a good treasure for thyself against the day of necessity.
Stop right there. So this is the type of investments we should be making. In lieu of everything I covered, but this is one of the reasons why you're making giving alms. You're laying up, you're investing, you're putting into your investment account for the day of necessity, against the day of necessity. Okay. Verse 10.
Khan. Because that alms do deliver from death, and suffereth not to come into darkness.
Amen. Now, and the thing is, like, with this, when you're making this, when you're applying this scripture, it's good to meditate on these scriptures, like with this, but don't give out of fear. Like, oh, I need to, I got to pray because I got to give alms because I don't want, I need to be delivered from death. Now, those fear tactics, those are, that's crooked pastors playbook 101. Okay, so verse 11.
Khan. For alms is a good gift unto all that giveth in the sight of the Most High.
Amen. Amen. Now with alms, like, of course, I mean, you got to have the right motive of heart. So if you're investing in some brothers' ministry, like, hey, these brothers are pushing the word, let me support them. Or sister's got a business over here, I'm going to patronize the business, but in terms of like giving alms, well, hey, I see my brother on the street, is he buy drugs with it? I don't know, but let me err on the side of caution. Let me go feed him. You know, one thing I do, or I haven't been out in a while, but one thing, a good idea to do is if you're in that position, like you want to help a brother out, but you're afraid he might use it for drugs, and your intent is to feed him because he's saying I'm hungry, or that's what the sign says. You go to like Chick-fil-A or a place like that, or wherever, and buy gift cards, buy like um, five $5 gift cards or whatever, and then when you're out or you're in your car, keep them in your car. When you're out, you can just, if you're at a stoplight, you can just give him a gift card and say, hey, it's got $5 on it, you can get you something to eat. Okay, so the thing is, it's a good gift in the sight of the Most High, that will deliver from death and not let you go in darkness. Okay. And it is a protection. That's an insurance policy, according to verse 9. For thou layest up a good treasure for thyself against the day of necessity. Okay. Um, Next one is Tobit chapter 12, verse 8 and 9.
Khan.
This is,
This is
you got,
the book of Tobit, chapter 12 and verse 8. Prayer is good with fasting and alms and righteousness. A little with righteousness is better than much with unrighteousness.
Mm-hmm.
It is it is better to give alms than to lay up gold.
Now, stop right there. It is better to give alms than to lay up gold. So, when we get into the scriptures of bad investments, according to the scripture, gold is a terrible investment, and we're going to show you why. So, now what the alms do is protecting you against the day of necessity. It is a good gift in the sight of the Most High. So, for you to give alms, it's better for you to start storing, gold. Verse 9.
Oh shit. So
You good.
all right, Salakia. I'm jumping in and out that. Verse 9. For alms doth deliver from death, and shall purge away all sin. Those that exercise alms and righteousness shall be filled with life.
And righteousness. That's the key. I mean, you can't be wicked and then, giving alms and saying, oh, yeah, the Lord's going to protect me, but you're living wickedly. Okay. Or Brother Dominic's class earlier was talking about, covetousness. So, I mean, I've been there. I'm going to go ahead and be honest, I guess in an open. Like I was giving with the expectation, now that I look back, it was with greed. That's what I was giving. And, could I blame the Christian church? It was more so me. I was giving alms, with the mind of I'm going to get rich. This is why I'm doing it. But it
Um,
didn't do anything. Like the brother got something to eat, or the church got an extra or whatever, more than 10%, but it wasn't with righteousness. Okay, so something you want to add, Kingdom?
yeah, I had two precepts just on
Sure.
that because um we do know that we supposed to love our brothers as we love ourselves, but also be wise, and if you know that you are, and this goes to investments as well, because a brother may be an investment. You may be investing in his brother, maybe a business that he wants you to invest in, or some stocks he may want you to invest in. So be smart, but you have to be wise and use the discernment to know, hey, is this brother keeping the commandments? Because I don't want to give it to anybody that's really not keeping the commandments, because they're going to be using it for
Uh,
wickedness, right? So you want to make sure that you are investing by giving alms to someone that is keeping the commandments. That is an investment, right? So we go also going to stay in Tobit. This is Tobit 4:17. Pour out thy bread on the burial of the just, but give nothing to the wicked, right? So we don't want to give our bread or pour out our bread on the wicked, or those of our people that are engaging in things opposite of what they should be doing, which is keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, right? We'll go over to Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, chapter 12:5. It says, do well unto him that is lowly, but give not to the ungodly. Hold back thy bread and give it not unto him, lest he overmaster thee thereby, or else thou shalt receive twice as much evil for all the good thou shalt have done unto him. So we have to be wise in who we giving our bread to, and our hard-earned dollars, and anything that we are offering, because we don't want them to take it, and how the scriptures say, to our people's feet are swift to run into wickedness, right? So if we know that a brother, he has a weed habit, a crack, a crack addiction, or some type of drug habit, or he may be, heavy on alcohol, and not, with dealing with his family and things like that, we don't want to give him something to push him into that. We want to try to find some other way to help him, you know, get back to, doing what's right in the eyes of the Lord. We don't want to put in we don't want to enable him. We don't want to enable our people into anything that's wicked. So, I just wanted to add to that point, and I yield.
con. And so, going back to Tobit 12, it says, it is better to give alms than to lay up gold. So let's see what's gold going to do for us in these last days. Go to Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 14. I can go ahead and read it.
I got it for you.
I got it. Okay.
I got it for you. This is Zephaniah 1 and verse 15. The great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly.
So this is talking about the last days. It's near, it's near. Go on.
That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. Salakia, verse 16, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. And I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung.
So let me ask you this. Should I be buying gold at this time? Verse 18 answers that question. Go ahead.
Verse 18. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. But the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, for he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land.
Yeah. So gold and silver. I've seen it. The gold coins. I used to have them. The Most High moved me in a way to get rid of them. He told me don't even have them. If you have them, and it's not a bad thing, but just it's not going to deliver you. So some people say, oh, I'm buying it for the when the dollar collapses, people will barter in gold. And no, this country, the people who are filling their gas with grocery bags and plastic bags, no. There will be no barter and trading. Very little going on. People are going to lose it. So says the scriptures. So silver and gold is not going to deliver you. However, we go to Tobit. It is better to give alms than to lay up gold. For alms do deliver from death, and shall purge away all sins. Those that exercise alms and righteousness shall be filled with life. So this is just further showing you what should have been your investment before the Lord's wrath came upon the earth. Let's go to Ezekiel 7:19. I have it. I can go ahead and read it. This is Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 19. They shall cast their silver in the streets, and the gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver in the day of the wrath of the Lord. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is a stumbling block of their iniquity. Now, it's just a terrible investment. So I have another precept. One of the good brothers, just shot to me. Just think about every post-apocalyptic movie we saw, or TV show, Walking Dead, Book of Eli, I Am Legend. There's not a whole lot of gold trading going on. You wouldn't even think to invest in gold. So thank you, Brother Dominique, for this precept. This is Proverbs chapter 11, verse 4. Riches profit nothing in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivers from death. Okay, so we see this constant theme of righteousness is preferred, in gold. So, and alms is one of the, I guess, acts or the physical things we could do, to couple that with righteousness because it's better than gold. So, thank you, Brother Dominique. This is now. So again, so we covered good mindset or some of the ways to invest. Then we just covered two precepts or bad investments. Now here is this is kind of the mindset we should have. This is one of the staple ones for those in the prepper community. This is Proverbs 6:6. Go to the ant, thy sluggard. Consider ways and be wise, which has no guide, no overseer or ruler, provides her meat in the summer, and gather her food in the harvest. Okay, so we see here the ant. No one's telling ant what to do. The ant knows what time it is and knows what time is coming. Therefore, they are, gathering their meat. Even though they're in my garden right now and tearing it up, that's a different story. But they are working. No one's telling them what to do. So, versus the sluggard. Verse 9, how long will thy sleep, O sluggard? When will thy arise out of their sleep? How long are you going to keep sleeping? We got brothers on the corner. We got brothers on Clubhouse. We got brothers on YouTube. We got brothers in congregations trying to wake up our people, and they aren't listening. They're asleep. We got friends and family that are still sleeping. Let's keep reading. Yet a little sleep and a little slumber, a folding of the hands to sleep. Like, yeah, I'm just taking a nap, guys, relax. So yeah, everything's fine. So shall poverty come on as one that travaileth, and thy want, that's your lack, as an armed man, meaning it's going to pop out of nowhere. So just like you're walking down the street and an armed robber just pops out of nowhere because you're not paying attention, you have your phone in your hand and you're just in la la land and the robber comes out of nowhere. Same way poverty is going to come on the sluggards who are just sleeping. You got brothers and sisters trying to tell our people it is time to wake up. But nope, the sluggard wants to sleep. So, that is the mindset you're getting in. Now, just using this as a physical example, the ant is not storing gold. You don't see ants carrying gold coins or copper coins. They are gathering something that they can use for when winter comes, because when winter comes, resources are slim. Okay, when winter comes, the opportunity to go out and gather food is almost impossible. If you're talking about a normal winter. Winter here in Houston is, February was our first real hit of winter, but usually it's pretty nice. So, but even then, the opportunity to go out and gather food is slim. So just like the opportunity for us to gather what we need now is slim. Again, considering everything we're seeing in the world. Okay. So, be like the ant. And the ant just stores a little at a time. The ant isn't greedy. Like the ant is not trying to carry, an entire, carcass. They do it as a team, just like what we gave the example of Robin Hood. They worked as the ants. We're going to do this together. And, they pissed off Wall Street, and now, a lot of them are on their investigation if they can be found. So, but the thing is, be like the ant, just a little bit at a time. You're just gathering food, putting it in your account, gathering in, whatever your investment is, putting in the account. So, if you haven't been storing food at all, I highly recommend that will be your investment. So, my mom, she, one time she came to my house and, she was like, you need to start saving money, blah, blah. For one, she doesn't know I saved money, but, parents are, you need to start saving money. You got all this food and blah, blah, blah. Y'all need to start saving. I'm like, this is savings. This is an investment. The price of beans are going to be highly appreciated when, the famine comes. Yeah, I know, but you still need to save something. I'm like, okay, Mom. But, that is an investment. Like in my head, like storing food for a famine is an investment. I mean, that's what you see in Egypt. They built storehouses. And when the money failed, people were going to sell themselves and their land. This land is worthless. I can't cultivate it. Our sheep that we're going to sell to you, they don't have food to eat, so there's nothing we can do for them. We could slaughter them for meat, but that's a lot of meat that we have to store up. So we're going to go work for, we're going to sell ourselves to Egypt. Now, there will be a lot of people selling their bodies to the government or to whoever has the resources in, when Jacob's trouble comes, unfortunately, because they were like the sluggard. So, that was a sound investment. 7 years of, famine. You're not storing gold. You're not, I don't know if they had, tulips in Egypt or they can grow in Egypt, but they weren't, buying junk. This is what's going to sustain us. So, now more with the mindset. So as and the thing is, we've been there. I mean, I know, a lot of us have been laid off. Some of us have been, our job is not paying as much. You keep seeing, people on the internet claiming they're getting rich. And I mean, it's tempting. I've been there. I mean, I gave my story about Pandora. I've been there. I completely understand. Those emotions are real. But you got to take a step back and saying, if there's so much emotion tugging on this, and here's the thing, like if you had a good paying job, and that's one thing what prompted people to start doing all this mass investing in cryptos and in the stock was people lost their jobs, and they were getting stimulus checks, or they had a little bit of savings, so they started putting it towards the stock market. So if you had a good paying job, it was paying your bills, you had a little savings, you could, enjoy yourself a little bit, you wouldn't be too concerned about the stock market. So, if that's you, definitely start praying for more and better employment opportunities. That's one thing you should start fasting about because, Lord, I don't know what I'm doing with this investment stuff. I just want to, we're going to get to that scripture too. I just want to work and, serve you and, just live a decent life. He's going to open up doors. So, with that, we're going to go to, this is Philippians 4:16. Philippians 4. And brothers, can one of y'all grab Matthew 6 and then Proverbs 30:5. I'm going to go to break down Philippians 4. This is the book of Philippians, chapter 4 and verse 6. Be careful for nothing, but in everything, that includes your investments, whatever you plan on doing, but in everything by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God. Now, with thanksgiving, that is key. You have to come with a grateful heart. Like, okay, I'm not coming at desperation, Lord. Listen, I thank you for everything that you have blessed me for. So, as of now, I am really grateful. I lost my job. I thank you for the opportunity that I had there. I thank you for the knowledge I got there. This is where I am now. You know where I am now, but I really need you to move, on these employers' hearts as I, put my application out there. Some employers wanted me to take the vaccine. Lord, I don't feel comfortable about that. My spirit doesn't feel at ease about that. Lord, please open an opportunity that doesn't require a vaccine or, that allows me to work from home. Make with thanksgiving, let your request be known to God. And the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Hamashiach Yahushua. Okay? So, and that piece, that piece right there, verse 7, that is key because when, all hell is breaking loose, those who made their investment, that spiritual investment in, the alms and the peace and the righteousness, we're going to have a certain level of peace that the rest of the world will not understand. Why are these Negroes over here, spiritually at peace? How come they're not panicking? How come they're not, wait a minute, brothers, what's going on? Or sister, why are you at peace? Or wait a minute, why are you happy? We've been invaded. What the hell is that's going to pass all understanding for the times that's coming. So, but again, verse 6 is the key. That first one, be careful for nothing. Do not be anxious. Okay. So, with that, we're going to go to Matthew 6. You got that, brother?
Con. This book of Matthew, chapter 6 and what?
25.
Con. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 25. Therefore, I say unto you, take no thought of your life, Salakia, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, nor yet for your body, what ye shall put on. Is not the life more than meat, and the body more than raiment?
Right. Don't get in that spiritual angst, okay? Because fear and faith cannot occupy the same place of your heart at the same time. It just can't. Okay. So, and again, at the same time, this is not saying don't prepare, because that would be a contradiction to 2nd Ezra 16 and 40. We're going to get there. But that's not saying, like, our day-to-day provisions, don't be anxious. Keep going.
Khan, Salakia. Verse 26. Behold the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are ye not much better than they?
Con. Continue.
Which of you, by taking thought, can add 1 cubit unto his
Let me
stature?
stop right there. Which of you can, by taking thought, can add 1 cubit unto his stature? Why are you concerned with things that you physically cannot control? Okay. Um, we know now, I mean, there was times where I went through like a lot of long, dry spells of unemployment and underemployment. I could not control that. So, I learned to be in whatever situation I'm in, I learned to be content. So why are you taking, when you can't add to your stature? You cannot physically change your situation. So again, going back to verse 25, take no thought. I know easier said than done, but if you've done it before, you definitely can do it again. Verse 28.
Verse 28. And why take ye thought for raiment? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They toil not, neither do they spin. And yet I say unto you that even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Wherefore, if Yahweh so clothe the grass of the field, which today is and tomorrow is cast into the oven, shall he not much more clothe you, O ye of little faith?
And that's Israel's problem. When we're in dire straits, oh ye little faith. I mean, and I've been there where I had very little faith. But through the tough experiences, that's where you learn to be content. It's not something you're born with. You have to learn to be content, and it's you become content in the tough places. It's easy to say, "Oh yeah, I got faith," when everything is taken care of. It's easy for us to say that, but it's these tough places where that's how you practice your faith. Verse 31.
Con, verse 31. Therefore, take no thought, saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or wherewithal shall we be clothed? For after all these things do the Gentiles seek. For
Mm-hmm.
your heavenly Father knoweth that ye have need of all these things.
Stop it right there. The key word is need. That is, and the things he's talking about is food, clothing, shelter. He's not talking about burger bags or, PS5s, not junk, like things that you need will be taken care of. Go ahead.
But seek ye first the kingdom of Yahweh and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you.
Add it. Mm-hmm. Seek you first. Okay. Go ahead. Verse 34.
Take therefore no thought for the morrow, for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof.
Don't even worry about what's going to happen tomorrow. And that's not saying don't plan, like I got to do this, I got to go here, I got to, we know everyone, we know in the proper context is talking about don't be anxious for tomorrow or don't be having a worry or fear of what tomorrow's going to bring. Like tomorrow's taking care of tomorrow. Okay. So, like, I make the joke, or like, what are we gonna do? When blah 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 happens. I'm like, well, I'll let future Leo deal with that. That's his problem. Right now, I'm not there yet, so that's future Leo's problem. But so this is just more that we have to consider when we when we um, the mindset that we have to have. Like the things that he's covering here is talking about the things that we need. Okay. So, and again, when we talk about investment, the first word, the first definition we covered was, the definition between a good investment and a bad investment. Again, considering the times that we are in now. So PS5, it's a bad investment. Again, if you say, hey, Leo, whatever, I got 6 months of food, clothes, shelter, bullets, guns, whatever. I give alms to every poor person in my neighborhood. I fast and pray. Then, I mean, if that's what you want to do with your extra money, fine, go ahead. But I'm just talking about from a standpoint of investments. Burka bags, or I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, nor do I care, are a bad investment. Okay. That's not an investment. That does not appreciate in value, considering the time where we're headed. Okay. But you still see the people, and even the things with time. Time is the most valuable asset. So I remember when we were talking about one of my friends. Um, we were talking about this, and he was saying, Leo, time is your most, for we were talking about the uh, satanic system and everything else. He was like, well, for us, for the for God's people, time is our ally. And I'm thinking, like, what the hell is he talking about? Like that doesn't make sense. Like, we want things to go now. We want now. But now that I'm thinking about it, like, yeah, it is, because while things are going on, we can't speed things up. So the time that we have now, we could be learning new skills, memorizing these precepts, um, you know, uh, uh, more storing more storing food, learning skills, because once this power grid goes off, there's no more YouTube. So whatever skill you were thinking about learning, learn that now. And start cultivating that. So that's the thing, like once this really kicks off, the time that we no one's perfect, we all wasted some time in some sort of another. That time that we wasted it's gone forever. Now, I'm not saying that you should enjoy yourself with a nice, a movie, and hang out with the brethren, and y'all fellowship and just kick back and relax. I'm not saying that, but just a lot of other folly, like looking at the hallway and all the rooms that people are just spending hours wasting their time, and frivolous debates of whose fault, the black man's fault, or who's better, LeBron, or like, guys, like the enemy's his kingdom is collapsing. We of course we go in those rooms to engage and go fishing spiritually, but your time is your most valuable asset, and you have to use that wisely. So the next precept would be Psalms, I mean, not Psalms, excuse me, this is Proverbs 30:5. So this is like, in terms of the mindset, this is one of the main ones that I go to. I'll read this one, and King Ben, if you can grab, let's go to Philippians. Let's go to Philippians 4. I'm gonna read Proverbs 30. This is a good one. So this plays right into Matthew 6. This is Proverbs 30:7. Two things I have, I require, deny me them not before I die. Remove from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. but feed me with food convenient for me. Convenient is in the Hebrew. I memorized it. I just forgot it. It means prescribed portion in the Hebrew in this context. So feed me with my prescribed portion. That's for me, my daily bread. Don't make me rich, Lord. Don't make me poor. Now, lest verse 9, lest I be fooled and deny thee and saying, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my God in vain. Okay. So this is a wonderful proverb to pray, because that's securing, Lord, if you make me rich, then I can handle it, and me. I don't want to be the one that says I start denying you and saying, who is the Lord? I did all this, and don't make me poor because I'll be forced to steal and take your name in vain. Okay. Now with that, we're going over to Psalms. Um, you're building up your now with that, you're building up your trust, Lord. I'm trusting you to not make me rich or poor. Just feed me what you prescribe for me. Matthew 6. Lord, I trust you. I'm not worried about tomorrow because tomorrow's going to take care of itself. Okay. Now when you start putting their trust, this is key. This is another deposit or another spiritual investment you're making. This is Psalms 37 verse 39. But the salvation of the righteous is of the Lord. He is their strength in the time of trouble, and the Lord shall help them and deliver them. He shall deliver them from the wicked and save them because they trust in him. Okay. We've covered in many lessons that, fear and unbelief, you will not be defended. Okay. But you trust in him is one of the ways to be secure in salvation. So that's another spiritual investment. The next one is Proverbs 30. Oh, yeah. Okay. I read that one. We already covered that one. Brother Ben, you have Philippians 4.
Con.
Okay. This start at Philippians 4, verse 11.
Con. Not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned in whatsoever state I am, therewith to be content.
Let me stop right there. I have learned. So again, in whatsoever state, you're content. I'm good. I'm cool. Like, I'm not rich. I'm not poor. I'm good. Now, if the Lord makes me rich, all praises. He makes me poor for whatever reason. He has me poor in a poor state. All praises. In whatsoever state I am, therewith be content. Now, to pray the prayer of, to pray that Proverbs 30, Lord, don't make me rich nor poor, or whatever state I've learned to be content. It takes some maturity, because no one wants to be in an uncomfortable poor position. We don't. We're just humans. But to pray that comfortably, like, Lord, I don't want to be rich, I don't want to be poor, because I don't want to forget you, nor do I want to take your name in vain and be a thief. So, just give me what you have for me. All praises. Now, verse 12.
Con. I know both how to be abased, and I know how to abound.
I know how to be
Everywhere,
poor. I know how to be rich. Mm-hmm.
everywhere, and in all things, I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need.
Amen. Go ahead, verse 13.
Con. I can do all things through Hamashiach, which strengthened me.
Amen. Amen. So this is talking about the right mindset. Now, people in Matthew, a lot of people who tell you, you shouldn't prepare, or you're having faith because you bought an extra bag of beans. you're losing faith, that, I'm going to go ahead and read this because this brings it home. Everything we covered, again, considering who we are and what time we're in. This is Second Ezra, chapter 16, verse 40. O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to thy battle. You get ready to thy battle. And in those evils, even be as pilgrims upon the earth. Get ready to move from place to place when the time comes. Now, this is the mindset you need to have as you make ready to the battle. Okay? He that sails, let him be as he that flees. Okay? Whatever your investments are, you're getting rid of them. That's what the mindset you need to have. He that buys, as one that will lose. So you're buying this knowing that you're not going to be able to enjoy it, or you're knowing that it's not going to have the, I guess, mature investment. Okay. That's the mindset. This is from Thus says the Lord. He that occupies merchandise, you got a little shop, as he that has no profit by it. Lord, if I make money, great. If I don't, oh well. All praises. He that builds, as he that should not dwell therein. That's the mindset that we should have. He that sows the field, or he that sows, as if he should not reap. You're doing all this planting, you got all this garden, but you need to have the mindset, I may not be able to eat this fruit. He that plants the vineyard, as he that shall not gather the grapes. They that marry, hey, I've been courting this sister for a while, or I've been courting this brother for a while. As they shall not get no children. You might not be able to have, the children, the baby shower, all that whole, parade. Might not happen. And they that marry not, as the widowers. That's the mindset you need to have if you're in a single state. I'm not saying you should act like it, but if I get married, Lord, all praises. If I don't, all praises. And therefore, they that labor in vain. For strangers shall reap their fruits and spoil their goods and overthrow their houses and take their children captive. For in captivity and famine shall they get children. And they that occupy their merchandise with robbery. So some people got their shops because they robbed other people. The more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, in their own persons, the more I will be angry with them for their sin, saith the Lord. Okay? So as he tells us to get ready for the battle, and he tells us as we're getting ready, we still got to go to work. We still, have the Sabbath. We still have our feast days. We still, go hang out with family members and stuff like that, or, the brothers and sisters. But this is the mindset that you need to have. Oh, I'm selling this. I'm dumping this. I'm dumping this investment because, I'm getting out of town, or I'm buying this knowing I probably won't be able to enjoy it. Again, that takes a lot of maturity, in the body that you have to have. Taking this scripture in its context, because this is talking about the last days, okay? This is talking about you do not. So in essence, do not have an emotional attachment to the situations or the things that you're putting an investment in. Don't have an emotional attachment to it, because he said in verse 40, and in those evils, even be as pilgrims upon the earth. At some point, you're going to have to leave. We all are. Maybe not. Maybe not you specifically, but who knows? But based on this scripture, I think a majority of us are going to have to leave our comfort zones, our primary dwelling places, and go to another place. Whatever that place is, the Most High is going to guide us and deliver us. So it doesn't matter. I don't think about it too much. Some days you think about it more than others, but having faith in the Most High, you're like, yeah, whatever. So with that, that closes tonight's lesson.
I got a few precepts.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, I had just a couple. Just land me back in on just an overview of the things that you covered, because it's so important. And I want to I want to say this. In no way, and let me be clear, I don't want anyone to leave this class or this room and say, Brother Leo, uh, Brother Ben, Brother Mike, Thy Kingdom Come is telling our people, don't invest. You're wicked if you invest. You're stupid because at the time that we're in, you're not supposed to invest, because that's what'll happen. It'll be, something that's carried out of this room, and they made a room saying we shouldn't invest. Brother Leo was talking about, he can't wait to see what is it, Robin Hood. Anybody that's investing in Robin Hood, I want it destroyed. They're not gonna make all type of foolishness. He's not saying that at all. With everything that we do, we're supposed to use discernment. Understand the times that we are in. It always tells us that we must be mindful of the times that we're in. Look to the generations. Look to scriptures. So that's what the brother. Because when me and Leo first talked about this, I talked to him in regards to doing a class on just cryptocurrency or something like that. And the brother, thought more wisely is just to cover investments as a whole, because we're not just investing in cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and things like that. We're investing in everything at this time. Land, we're investing in some maybe investing in gold. A lot of things. I mean, our houses are investments. So he's telling you to use discernment in what you invest in. And us as people, we're trend followers. That's how we slipped into a lot of wickedness. We like to follow other nations and what the other nations do. So he's telling you, in doing this, it can be something that can help your household, but be wise in how you do it, right? So I'm gonna bring out a few precepts just on wisdom, right? And the first one I want to start with is Salakia, is Proverbs. Go to Proverbs, and this is 15 and 22, and it reads, "Without counsel, purposes are disappointed, but in the multitude of counselors they are established." So we all know everyone that knows something about cryptocurrency or Bitcoin or Forex. We got, everybody's an expert now. Everybody's into it. If you see, let's just say I see Leo doing it, and hey, he made a little bit of change off of it. So Leo put me on. I'm trying to make a little extra bread. And we've been having classes. We've been having people hitting each other up. We've been having even our Shalom and Chill rooms turned into a whole cryptocurrency lesson, right? These are things that our people are dealing with to make a little extra money. I don't think anybody's thinking they're going to become a millionaire off of it, but it's something that they are trying to get to help their household in a certain way. Maybe put it towards uh uh something put it towards something in the coming days, for we know that this whole class is Jacob's trouble, so we're trying to prepare for the harder days that's ahead, right? So that's what we want to do. We want to have counselors. We want to have counselors that are speaking the right things, that are putting us in the right direction, right? We don't want to just jump in here by ourselves and we see it and we do it and we're successful at it. That's not how things work. You got to have somebody that advises you in the right way that you should go, and that's on everything, not just this. That's on everything we do in a day of life, right? Next precept is going to be going over to Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, right? And this is going to be similar as well. It says, "Be in peace with many, nevertheless have but one counselor of 1,000." So I know y'all hear that precept compared with the last one. Y'all say, well, those precepts contradict one another, because the previous one said, do nothing by yourself, and be at basically be at peace, not be at peace, but have uh have many counselors, have a multitude of counselors, and this one is telling you never have but one counselor out of 1,000. They're essentially saying the same thing, right? Because you want to have counselors, right? You want to have counselors that is not you don't want to have 1,000 people saying different things, but you do want to have, you don't want to go to one single person, the first person that you come along. You want to, as and I'm related to like how this app works or how we are on Clubhouse. We have multiple brothers that teach from different camps, right? And they are many counselors on here. Us brothers, each day we have, all our brothers are from camps that expand all over the US. Some even are brothers that's outside the US. And these are a multitude of counselors. And but we do have, we always have one that we may go to a lot most of the time, but all of these brothers are our counselors. But what they do is they essentially say the same thing. And this multitude of these counselors, right? You are essentially having basically one advisor, or they're speaking the same things, even though they're across many camps. That we are all in agreement to a certain extent. So you want to, in this multitude of counselors, it being not so many, but it being a few that is giving you the right advice. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go to Leo and I'll be like, yo, Leo, what do you think I should invest in? Or what is doing good right now? And he might say, well, this is doing real good. You should probably try this. And then I'll go to Mike, and Mike will say, well, this is doing good, and I'll ask him like, well, I heard this is doing good. How is this doing? Well, that's doing okay. That's doing okay. You probably won't go wrong getting that. And then I'll go to, someone else, that another brother, maybe it's Ariala or somebody, and he'll say, yo, this is doing good. So you're getting a sense of, through these counselors, what what's going on, what you should probably dive into. But it ain't bunches of counselors with different things in totally different directions. You don't have money for all that. You have time for all of that, right? And if you go into, what is it, First Corinthians 10, that basically is what it essentially, I'll bring that out, Salakia. First Corinthians chapter 10, First Corinthians 1 and 10, Salakia, it says, now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of the Lord, Hamashiach Yahushai, that ye all speak the same thing, that there be no divisions among you, but that ye are perfectly joined together in the same mind and the same judgment. So you want your counselors and your advisors, to not be so many, but the group that you have, that one idea to be the same, to them to be advising you in one direction. You don't want them having you going to and fro with investing in these different things, whether it be land, whether it be stock, whether it be anything that you're looking to get into. You want that advisement, but you don't want it to be abundant for a bunch of different minds. Salakia. The next one I'll go to is Salakia. I want to go to Luke. I'll go to Luke real quick. This will be Luke 14 and 28. And it reads, for which of you intended to build a tower sitteth not down first, and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it, right? Because when you go into this, you want to know, you don't want to go into this and be like, you know, I'm going to take my whole next paycheck and invest, right? You want to put something into this that you don't have to worry about. You don't want to take your money, and Brother Leo covered this. Like I said, this is just an overview. A lot of our people, we go all in, right? As soon as we see it, you know what? Hey, I'm putting everything on black 13. You know what I'm saying? Like a gambler. I'm betting it all. I'm betting the house. And then you don't have nothing. You don't know what's going on. This will be probably a first time venture for you. So you don't want to invest every single thing down you have, paycheck, you put next paycheck, you got it lined up to put it here, and you have a household, you have a wife, you have a child. You want money, whatever you put in this, for you to put it there, and you sit back. If it do well, you're saying you good. If you don't do well, well, hey, it ain't no skin off my back, right? Verse 29. Less haply, after he laid the foundation and is able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him, right? Because listen, people are in this thing, and you came in be like, yo, I'm gonna go in and invest, yo, I'm going hard in it, yo, I'm gonna get that bread, yo, this is gonna be crazy. I'm gonna be able to, I'm gonna be able to splurge a little bit with this. And then you get into like, yo, you spent all your money on that. I ain't tell you to go in like that. Israel is, I mean, even Israel, we funny. You have to be mindful of what you are going into, and hey, prepare the cause. Know that you have something that if you come out of it, it's a gain. If you don't, like I said, you're not at a loss. You don't want to, even if you lose or something happens, you don't want your household to lose, right? Verse 30, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. You always want to finish up strong, right? Get in and be able to get out. Prepare the end game, right? Let's go to another one. Salakia. Um, this is let's go to Ecclesiastes, right? And this is what Brother Leo was talking about, right? About spreading yourself around and not worrying about it. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, right? This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 11 and verse 2. Give a portion to 7 and also to 8, for thou knowest not what evil shall be upon the earth. Verse 3. If the clouds be full of rain, they empty themselves upon the earth. And if the tree fall towards the south or towards the north, in in the place where the tree falleth, there it shall be. Verse 4. He that observeth the wind shall not sow, and he that regardeth the clouds shall not reap. Right? So you're gonna have these people that's worried every direction. They are so, yo, I'm getting in it. Yo, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. Bro, I'm about to lose my money. It's not looking good. You know what I'm saying? Calling you all hours of the night. If you in there, you calling all hours of the night. Yo, Leo, man, you gave me the stock. Yo, it look like I'm about to take a loss, King. Yo, hey, you the one told me about this, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be so worried. You spreading your thing around. You spread it. You diversifying, because you want to put, if you're going into this, you want to spread yourself around like your brother Leo said. Not put everything in one basket, so that when one is losing, haven't lost everything. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to find a couple that's good and put a little bit there and see how it does. Right? Finishing this off, it says. Verse 5, as thou knowest not what is the way of the Spirit, nor how the bones grow in the womb of that is with child, even so thou knowest not the works of Yahweh who maketh all. So you don't know what the Most High have for you with this. It's something that you praying, that you going into, like you should do nothing without prayer. You going in it with righteous counsel. So you got to go in with that faith. You are investing with, saying, hey, Most High, whatever you bring out of this, I will be content with, right? You're not going into this to, like you said, you're not going into this to score to be a millionaire. You're trying to look for something, and Most High is the one that will increase, as pursuant to First Corinthians third chapter, right? A couple more precepts and then we'll wrap it. This is the book of James, and start at chapter 4 and 13. This is going into the same thing. It says, go to now ye that say, today or tomorrow, Salakia, today or tomorrow we will go into such a city and continue there a year and buy and sell and get gain, right? It says, verse 14, whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow? For what is your life? It is even a vapor that appeareth for a little time and then vanish away. So these stocks, these things, they come and go. These trends, these investments, they come and they go. We have brothers that um are investing in land. I mean, doing real things. A lot of our brothers in camps investing in Georgia. Some seen some in Mississippi. If people are spreading it all around to know that our people may need these places as refuge, right? And we don't know what they're gonna turn out. We just trying to go and do something that would be in the interest of our people. So we ought to you know you know, not be so fearful, like Brother Leo said. All right, fear and faith cannot occupy the same space in your heart or your mind, as to say. You have to go with faith in these things. You gotta get it and leave it, and let the Most High bring forth what you're supposed to get out of it, right? And be content, right? All right, I got I believe one more, Salakia. Um, and this goes into what me and Brother Leo talked about, because we kind of laughed about this when we was talking about this class. And Israel, you're going to be an expert and give Israel advice, and they not going to do the stock. And what's going to happen? They going to come after your ass. They going to be looking for you, and you're going to be like, yo, what did you get me into? What did you tell me about? And I invested in this thing, and I lost all my bread. And like I said, Israel goes into things hard. We don't go into things lightly. So we go into these things like a gambler at a casino. We put into it until we take a hard loss, and then we like, yo, F that stock, man. I don't give a damn. I don't recommend anybody into it. We can't be like that. We can't be like that gambler. We have to have an out. You got to know what you're putting into this and when you're going to stop. That's what you got to do. You got to be like, yo, I'm going to go into this, but I have a cutoff point. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be something that I can look to. And if it brings forth dividends, then it's good. But I ain't going to be, listen, I ain't gonna be taking my child's toy box and trying to sell it to invest in, or taking my child's, if my child have a PS5, taking it to the pawn shop, a couple hundred, so I can invest. You got to have a cutoff point. You can't be, just crazy about it, right? So be smart when, especially when taking advice for Israel or giving advice to Israel. Don't invest someone else's money. All right, let the person invest their own bread. You can offer some advice, but at the end of the day, it's them choosing to get involved in this. You don't want to have to answer when they take a loss. And that's what, when me and Brother Leo was talking about this class of bringing it forth, he instilled that wisdom, as to say, a lot of people want to give advice, but they're not able to help you once you took a loss. It's on you at the end of the day. So they may have something that may have worked for them, or they think may work for them, and they give it to you, and Israel gonna come looking for you. You know how our people is, right? And this is Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach 21:8. It says, "He that buildeth his house with other men's money is like one that gathereth himself stones for a tomb of his burial." That's playing upon tables, right? Don't mess around with Israel money, man. When you advising them on investments and things like that, give them advice of, you could tell them of what's available, and how it may have worked for you. But at the end of the day, if let them know that they are going into this at a chance that they may take a loss, or they may, nothing's guaranteed. It ain't nothing 100% foolproof. So them going into it, they need to know that when they invest in this, hey, it may pay dividends, it may not. And you may have to sit on it for a while. You know what I'm saying? You may have to, kind of forget about it and see what happens. So, I just want to instill that wisdom at the end, because Brother Leo covered it so eloquently. But we have to be smart in our discernment in doing any investment that we take in these last days, because we're moving to a time where at the end of the day, hey, Esau could shut all this down, and you not get nothing out of it. You know what I'm saying? At any given day, the damn lights can go out, and a damn EMP can hit, and what you got. You can't go to Esau and demand your money. Okay, if he's pushing his vaccine the way it is, and you don't take the vaccine, and then he starts saying, "Well, you ain't gonna get your money," what are you gonna do? So we all have to prepare for that day of trouble, and use discernment in doing so. And on that, I yield.
Con. And I guess to emphasize my comment about Robinhood, I'm not saying that I wish you would lose money. No, the company, like what they did when those investors outsmarted Wall Street, is just straight up wicked. So how are you going to stop people from buying more stock because your parent company is losing money? Like, so that just speaks to the wickedness of those people. So you know, that's what I meant. But hopefully, that was edifying. I guess I can open up for any questions. If anybody has any questions at this time regarding this topic, um, you know, I'm not a financial advisor, so if there's just anything in general regarding the overall lesson, you can ask it at this point, and you know, uh, we can get you answered, bring you up.
Con. Hey, make sure you follow the moderators, Brother Mike, Brother Leo. Brother Leo does great work. He never comes into any of these lessons. He studied. We talk about this a lot as far as just the wisdom in dealing with markets and the economy. So the brother's not speaking out of his behind. This is a lot of research goes into this. So make sure you follow the brother, follow myself, Brother Mike. This platform that we're trying to build up is, um, just in the ways in like the shadows of the sister networks, sister clubs, is just to advise our people and inform them on things that we are, issues that are affecting our people. So make sure you become a member of Thy Kingdom Come. We got this will be the ninth installment of Jacob's Trouble. You can go to the YouTube and catch up. This one will be added as well. Also, go down and follow our sister clubs. You can see um, in my profile our sister clubs that we got. We to keep this platform for our people running 24 hours a day, where you will have teachers consistently teaching, as well as readers and preceptors. Um, Also, we have a bunch of good programming coming up, scheduled classes and rooms. With every day, or Monday through Friday, we have the morning brew from 10:30 to usually run around an hour and a half. And with there, we cover breaking news, live events, or things affecting our people. As well as we have this Thursday, we have a discussion coming up, a panel. It's called Knights of the Round Table, where we'll be discussing three hot topics, which will be guns, blacks owning guns, or our people owning guns, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans owning firearms, going to all the things, the pros and cons of our people owning firearms, as well as we'll be discussing police and police in our communities, as well as the black dollar. We know that our dollar is the most powerful dollar, the most spent dollar in the United States. So we want to talk the effect of and what we do with it. So we'll have a open discussion. Everyone is welcome. We'll have that on Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So with that, if no one has any questions, make sure you hit myself and on Instagram, or Leo. We have a Telegram, which is a chat app that you can download on Android or Apple and or iOS. All right, I think Brother Jakari got something he wants to say. And you can get in the Telegram by hitting myself up, and we'll check you out to see if this is your first time here. We'll try to get you in it because we want our consistent members to be in there so that they add. If they have any questions while we on stage, and they don't wish to come to the stage, they can also ask questions or get a story or get some information that we may have that we can share with them directly, as well as add ideas, present ideas that they may have for a future room or programming. So make sure you hit myself up, Brother Leo, and we can add you to the Telegram. Hey, Brother Jakari, what's going on, King?
Hey, Shalom, big bro. How you feeling?
Hey, I can't call it. What's going on, King?
Con. So I just tuned in, God. So I was just trying to see if I missed any game. What was the highlights? If something done crashed, if something done went up. You know what I'm saying? Just put me on game if I done missed anything detrimental, I should say, if it's anything.
It was really just I'll post it in the chat so you can get like the whole gist, but it was basically wisdom into investments, basically, King. And I think if you have the understanding of the scripture, you'll basically, you should be able to get it. But this was basically for our people, just wisdom and investing, to use discernment as well. We ran through just a mindset to be in. I think that's basically you can recap anything you can, Leo, if you want to. I think that was basically.
Yeah, it was just a broad overview. We have this. It's going to be. It's being recorded, so we're going to post it on the YouTube channel, so you can probably go through it and just take your time with it. But yeah, that was
Right.
it, man. Just a broad overview. So nothing like
Right.
specific news or whatever.
Right, and King, I could shoot you directly. I'll shoot you the because I think we definitely follow each other. So I'll shoot you the link, and you could just check it out in your spare
Yeah, con, bro. I definitely would appreciate it if you did that for me.
time. No doubt, King. I got.
All right, bet. Shalom, y'all.
Hey, shalom.
Go on, family.
So with that being said, yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. We thank everybody for coming. We pray that y'all have a good rest of your evening, and hey, we're gonna give all praises to Yahweh by Hashem, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, and we want to say shalom.